without further ado, time to recap. We had a pretty eventful session last week. There's a lot to get through. So, our party, having now spent a little time with Ilsar Juhila, the leader of the Juhila family, and in a family of archaeologists, explorers, and researchers who have become world famous around, mostly around these parts, but around a fair share of the continent as well. With him in tow, you made your way deep into the bowels of the earth beneath your sanctuary, finding the tomb of the Star Speaker, the once great leader of the Undara people. I'll turn that music down just a little smidge. That kind of got me in my ear a little bit. You opened the great stone doors, made your way inside, investigated a little, eventually working up the courage to open up the casket itself and see what's inside after just very swiftly dealing with the temple guardians who were put here to protect it against intrusion. It is truly a sight to behold, and just a lesson in dungeon mastering for me, if nothing else.
You saw for the first time Stanislav fight with his brain.
That's true. I think that was my flaw. I miscalculated. You guys used thought processes and strategies, and that really fucked me up. I'm not used to that.
No, you see your players being good. Thanks, GM.
Love you guys.
Who'd have thought?
With some effort, you managed to get the casket open, triggering a trap in the process, almost being thrown into the canyon, kind of watery tide pool below. However, retrieving an ancient scepter from within, you went to the great stone wall on the west side of the building, where a very, very almost seemingly identical slot to the scepter you're holding was waiting for you. And as you pressed it into the wall, you watched, and Gregory in particular noticed, as paths that had been carved in this wall and even this entire room that stretched all the way to the ceiling began to connect with beams of light and form galaxies, constellations, an entire cosmos of jewels, gems being lit by arcane magical light in this room. However, a little transfixed by the events that were transpiring, the party had a bit of trouble avoiding when the wall itself began to crack and crumble and collapse in. Stanislav and Mantuka managing to avoid the brunt of the damage, but Gregory and Mr. Maker unfortunately taking the brunt of the hit. Mr. Maker in particular seemingly struggled to maintain his form as a changeling, shifting back and forth, seemingly due to the massive amount of head trauma that was caused. Voice changing, height growing taller and shorter even as you're speaking to him, very off-putting. And while he has tried to maintain an air of professionalism at this time, it becomes very clear during the discussions that he may be a little worse for wear. However, as you all made your way down to your beds for the evening and rested, you were all awakened by a panicking, well, not so much panicking, at attention Linax running down the halls, screaming at people to ready themselves for combat, as there had been some kind of infiltration. The group, banding together, made their way to the top of the sanctuary and back down the cavern they had uncovered, ready for battle. Mantuka in the lead, Stanislav and Gregory close behind, Mr. Maker just stumbling his way down the stairs as best he could in an attempt to keep up with the crowd. However, when you arrived below, you found a small garrison of probably 30 to 40, maybe 50 dwarves forming a circle, all guarding you and blocking this tomb, this resting place of a once great dwarf king and elf queen, seemingly bound together. You found a taller dwarf, seemingly with a little bit of mixed lineage, in that there were some elven features there that you hadn't quite expected to see. The pointed ears, the high cheekbones. Gregory, you recognized immediately this was an ancestor of Rayastra, the Star Speaker, who lay in the tomb before you. Together, you cautiously made your way out onto the platform, or the plateau that kind of rests in the center here, and had a conversation with this individual where he revealed the nature of his birth, his upbringing, and the fate of both his people and the fate of the Undara tribes that lived here before. Gregory, seemingly in a moment of excitement, was very keen to share whatever it was he knew about the Undara people, what he had found in this chamber before the walls collapsed, leaving a path for the dwarves to even enter, and seemingly had remembered the location of a very ancient and very powerful temple in deep within the deserts, known as the Temple of the Shifting Sands. Decided to share this location with this individual, who, while not unpleasant and not outright aggressive to you anyway, definitely shows his hand very quickly in that he very much intends to use this ancient weapon to wipe out any he feels have done him wrong in his past. Conveniently, and perhaps lucky for all of you, the same people that you now find yourselves at war with. So, as you stand there, just understanding the ramifications of the information you have revealed, Gregory, and this dwarf, half elf, stares at you with this just look of, again, there's a calmness to his face, there's a peace there, but there is malice in his eyes, and there is intent. He's not aggressive or hostile in any way, but he's very clear that he wants to use this to do some pretty great things. And great in the sense of scale, not so much morality. And that is where we will pick up. So, as this information becomes clear to you, what is it you're doing? He's standing now over the grave of his ancestors, just looking down at them as you see him just processing all the plans he made in his head for this moment and everything that is to come after. We got a 10 on the D100. Outside, briefly, you see the light of the clear day just kind of beginning to reflect through the small crack in the ceiling above you. It's probably, it would be moonlight, actually. It was evening, so it was a bright moon and a clear sky, so this kind of nice silver light kind of just reflecting through that thin crack in the ceiling. It shines directly down onto the tomb. What are you doing? I think your mic switched.
Something happened.
Yeah, your mic got all wonky.
Not using your good one.
Got that laptop mic going.
Yep.
What's that?
Still the same.
Oh, that's just lovely. This is the day of...
Oh, it sounds like we're watching the Jackie Gleason show. Can you just do me a favor and say, "Honey, I'm home"? No, okay, that's better.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, good. Okay, Greg, there's a moment of absolute terrified fear that Greg, he not even gonna, he wouldn't be able to hide it. He's absolutely terrified for a moment, but he steels himself and sort of, sir.
Yes.
I spoke to your great, tell me when to stop, grandmother.
You'd be going for a while. Just ancestor is fine.
A long time ago.
He chuckles a bit.
I had a conversation with her, and she told me very clearly not to let them find it. Now, I don't want to think that that's you, but there is a part of me that thinks so. What do you want to do with this?
I want to use it. I want to destroy those who destroyed my people. I want to bury them against the very sands they buried my people under.
All of them?
All of them. Anyone who is proud to fly an Imperium banner over their home will be claimed by the desert. I will see to it. It is my right. And to be honest with you, looks down at his great-great-grandmother and grandfather. Maybe if they had had the strength to use it themselves, our people wouldn't have been wiped out.
I'm
I'm prone to believe you. They took us. They held us for a long time, and then in one of their camps, and I didn't see a lot of compassion in the eyes of the guards. But then I watched.
And I look back at the shifting, massy face of Mr. Maker
Yeah.
that's probably barely even conscious.
At this point, you've noticed like Ilsevere has come out, and Stanislav's brother is just behind him, kind of holding him up. He's like, maybe we should get you away to safety, my friend. You guys all right if I take him?
Yeah, that's fine.
Mr.
Take him
Maker's like,
back to the
I think
infirmary."
I'm good. And his voice just keeps shifting and he's kind of just like leading him away. And you as you're saying this, you're looking at Mr. Maker, kind of looks over his shoulder at you, like absentmindedly, as his face shifts and contorts into a different person every few seconds or so. And just is dragged away up the stairs by Ilsevere.
Even in that moment, you would see Greg has a moment of just like fear for just a quick second, and he just has, as soon as he gets out of the room, he just stops and says,
I witnessed somebody die. That was a proud flag-waving Imperium. But I don't think he deserved to die. He didn't do that. He didn't deserve to die.
and Greg just kind of backs away from the whole group, and he's just,
I don't know a lot. I'm young and I don't know a lot, but I know that some people, they go along with the motions. They just follow the river, but they don't deserve to die for that.
That's their decision. They can live with the consequences of it. I'm not asking you to help me. Know that my plans are my own, and for now, we're aligned. I don't need you to use the weapon. I'm just telling you to stay out of my way. That's simple. You agree to do that, you have my help, you have my protection, for what it's worth. But you try to stop me and my people from getting what we want, we'll bury you too.
What about all of the slaves in the city? I would really want to try to at least get some or most of them out before
Again,
you would activate that weapon.
my plans are my own. What you decide to do, your choice. If we pick a target and you think you can get as many people out of it as possible before things go down, I'm not opposed. I'm not an evil man. I am a practical one. My people deserve freedom, same as those slaves do.
I
The difference
understand.
is we have the chance to take it. They don't. Do you think you can help them? Do it. But
I know that I can.
until we find what we're looking for, until we find the temple, conversation leads nowhere. And we will look for it. And we will find it, believe me. You can help. You can abstain. Don't interfere.
Well, I think we'll need a little bit of time to discuss it, but would you like to meet the leaders here?
Yeah. There's a moment where he's... Roll me an insight check, everyone who wants to.
Am I here as well, Pat?
Yeah, no, you came in here.
Just making sure.
Now, Ryan sounds like he's on old-timey radio, dude. What is going on?
And here comes the wind-up and the pitch, and it's a strike.
Thanks for lurk tip.
Today, in Bossing Say.
I am so confused as to what's going on with the microphone right now.
I
I love
know
it.
for some reason
Is
my
Mr. Smelly
my
here?
good mic is off the list,
Weird.
and now I think it's because this webcam that I have now has a built-in microphone that Does it sound okay?
You sound good now, but like 2 seconds ago,
Huh.
it sounded like you were on like
It-
literal
yeah.
AM radio receiver.
That's the only other
I've done
weapon.
Matrix.
Hey, thanks for the sub,
That's okay.
JT.
Hey, works for me.
My fucking stream deck's not working.
Well,
Is Smelly with us? Do
Smelly.
you want him to roll the old Insight-uannual?
He had your weapons. He was ready to go. You recall Smelly when like battle came, like he was squired up, ready to go. So
I
he's
like
close
where your
by.
head's at. I'll roll Insight for him too.
Okay, go ahead.
I rolled an
Absolutely.
one.
Okay.
God, he's better than me.
Oh.
I knew I had him around for a bit. For a
thank
reason.
God
Okay,
somebody
so-
rolled good.
Mantuka's the only one who really picks up on this. He's currently like you guys are down here and just talking. He's currently up
That's
here with
Smelly.
the rest of the
That's
crowd.
not Mantuka, that's
Yeah,
Smelly.
so Mantuka's down here. Smelly's like up here where the rest of the crowd is gathered because they didn't let everyone come down and talk to their king. But like there's a moment there where you kind of looking over the dwarf, and then you clock Smelly in the corner, and he's kind of like he gives you a look, but he's not sure how to communicate what he picks up on. But you definitely clock that he has picked up on something, and he's going to share it with you when he can. There's definitely an apprehension there, but he kind of just looks over his shoulder to the circle of just ironclad dwarves that have formed a protective barrier around him. Stand down. We're okay. You gonna show me around?
Absolutely.
He just picks his helm off the ground that he had next to him. He has this like long kind of grayish black hair with like these faint like almost silver streaks that are like more silver than gray. They have a sheen to them. He just picks up this kind of iron helm, which you see the crown of his people has been just soldered onto. Like it is just
Cool.
mounted right to his battle helm. He puts it under his arm and just starts walking. You notice some of the other, like a couple of the dwarves are holding some of his weapons. They were like holding ready in case he needed them. But he stood before you mostly unarmed, and the other dwarves kind of break, and you see a little bit of light chatter kind of forming between the two groups, or like 10 minutes ago ready to kill each other. And like the tensions kind of light a bit. So what are you doing? What are you showing them?
Yeah, I'll bring them back up out of the cave and just kind of go out to out of the entrance to it and wait until I'll step out just wait for everyone to gather.
You guys
top
were
here.
You guys were down here, but if you walk along the whole top, you're coming out of the basement cave, which is down there.
Ah, right.
Okay. As you kind of make your way out, he looks around. Definitely looking at the stonework.
Mhm.
You see him picking up on those things where his culture kind of blended with his other ancestors' culture, and there was that mix between dwarf and elf here, and he's seen stuff like it before, but this is probably the last thing that they built together as a union. So kind of taking that in. Looks around. You don't have a lot of guards. We walked right in here.
Yeah, we're kind of relying on the whole hidden thing, I think.
Oh, it'll work for a while.
Yeah, until we're not.
We also didn't know we were on top of a graveyard.
No.
Bad recce on our part.
You'd
I
be
do
surprised how
More
many.
planning's better.
You'd be surprised how many graveyards you find a few inches beneath the sands here.
Ah.
Said you had leaders.
Fuck creepy sands.
Where?
Yes. Follow me, and I'm gonna bring him up the spiral and to the room where we had met the elves for the first time.
Cool. So it's this room. It's the room with the large kind of silver, for lack of a better term, bowl, we'll call it. But it's like 10 feet by 10 feet. It's massive. And you find it's sitting in there is, what the fuck is his name? We're at the point where I have 80 NPCs in this spot, so I gotta look through a bunch of shit every time.
Well, busting Pat's mind right now.
It's a lot. There's a lot in there.
And they're all talking at once.
I mean that's normal anyway. Who's the fucking leader of the dudes? How am I forgetting my own notes here? God damn.
Lisa needs braces, dental plan. Lisa needs braces, dental plan.
Love that. How the fuck am I forgetting that? Flynax's buddy. It's like the leader of the elves from the town that you
I
guys
can't get
liberated.
Ulthar out of my head.
It's Blippo the elf leader. Woot woot, like, yeah. Fuck
Is
yeah.
it Blippo the
Jam
elf leader?
power.
No,
Whatever.
that doesn't work
It's
like that.
Carlos with 2 C's. Like, it's whatever you want, brother.
Carlos.
It doesn't work like that when there's already like established
magic.
lore. Here, I got this.
Carlos. Now that's not a bad name. I have been fighting with names for the new campaign. Carlos.
Carlos 2 C's. I love it. Just saying.
I don't hate it.
What?
I
roll
don't
with the tongue.
hate it.
Because anytime he's like Carlos 2 C's, you're like, what? How many C's? You're like,
And where are they? Where do you put them?
Okay, so you find Furo and Orlyle both sitting, the
Furo.
two leaders of the of Adrock. Essentially, they were kind of the figureheads there. One older, a lot more reserved in his beliefs, thought rebellion may not be the best idea, and then of course Furo, who is very fiery individual. But you can see them now, kind of just sitting here,
Youngin.
sitting. Like one's on this bench and one is on that bench, kind of just sitting across from each other, very casually discussing. You see Furo has like a mug next to him that's about half drank as you make your way, and they both look up. We were told
Hello.
that the conflict was all dealt with, so we decided to have a drink. That's not his voice. That's not his voice. We were told the conflict was all dealt with, so decided to have a drink.
Yes, well, there was actually
There.
no conflict, thankfully.
Thankfully.
Hmm.
Perhaps we should increase our god presence a little bit.
We were just talking about that, actually.
He kind of looks
Yeah, what was
past you as the dwarf makes his way in.
what was the Dwarven King's name again?
Ulthar.
Orthar.
Ul. Ulthar. Ulthar.
Ulthar.
Last name Stoutstone. And he, at this point, you hear like the heavy sound of his just iron boots, or like the iron plates on his boots coming into the room as he's heavy steps.
I don't think we ever actually got his name, though.
You guys
didn't
notoriously never
introduce
introduce yourselves,
ourselves.
and then I never. At this point, it's just I just assume that at some point
it's
during the
canon,
comment,
bitches.
yeah, you guys have no manners whatsoever. Zero
Realizing
social
that,
skills.
Stanislav
Very
pauses
rude.
and looks at the dwarf and says, I just realized that we never properly introduced ourselves in the confusion down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My name is Stanislav.
Hi, I'm Gregory.
The timid one got it.
I'm Mantuka, and this is Mr. Smelly till he develops a name for doing good things.
He eyes Mr. Smelly a little, like why? And there's
Hurry
like
up, Smelly, people are looking.
there's a moment where he's like, okay, why is this in my presence? Kind of, there's almost a bit of like haughty derision towards it. He's a little bit of a snob, a little like he's like, why
You
is
chose
this?
to look at him. He
That's
ain't
fair.
pretty, but he's
He's
somewhat
here.
reliable.
But he's here.
Still holding his helm. Ulthar.
His
That's
stench
dope.
has been reduced 1/3 since we met him.
And you are. And he kind of looks past to Furo. Furo, this is my uncle Orlyle. When did we He looks at the dwarf for a moment. He smiles. When did we get a dwarf infestation?
Oh no shit.
Well,
Oh boy.
Firstly, and
I'm okay with this.
He's smiling like it was a joke, and you see Ulthar laughing.
Okay, good.
There's a moment
Oh,
where you're all
Gregory
like,
is
what
not-
the fuck?
Gregory turns white. He's just...
Ulthar is just laughing. It's a bit drafty in the basement, you know us, we'll find our way in anywhere. You've got a bit of a security problem. To be honest, we were on our way here, we just kind of couldn't find our way in until the wall collapsed. Thank you for that. The place is well protected, for the most part. So Furo and you said Orlyle. And you lead these people? Not exactly. More of He's kind of like put on the spot. He's a little intimidated. I've done my best to lead them when I can, and of course Orlyle here has offered his wisdom when he's able, and Stanislav and Gregory, Mantuka, and their compatriot have all helped as well. So we kind of have a bit of mixed leadership, I would say. The elves kind of run their own thing. We run our own thing, and there's not really a lot of cohesion yet. Should probably work on that.
Fair.
Indeed.
He's just eyeing down these people at this point, kind of sizing them up, waiting for someone to do something.
None of the foreign elf leaders are here, though, right?
No, it appears they're gone. Their boats were not down in the bay, or the little. Okay. We'll call it the inlet. This spot right here where they've been sailing their boats into is currently unattended.
Okay. Yeah. I was hoping that some of the foreign elf leaders would be here as well. They seem to have some other larger designs that might interest you as well. I'm not too sure, but
the elves always have bigger designs. I'll tell you what, you guys could use some muscle around here. So how about we stick around for a bit so we can make all the introductions and figure out where we stand. Or, well, at least my people will stay. As you can imagine, I've got to get home. But I'll leave you some guards, so at least if someone makes their way in unannounced, you can stand a bit more of a fighting chance.
Wow.
That's gracious of you.
Pays to have allies. You remember the rules. Do you have any plans? What are you doing going forward? There's a number of things that we can all be busying ourselves with. We're looking for the temple, or will be. Want to help you?
Well, the only direction that we had before this was getting past this door and figuring out what was behind it. And I mean, I'll speak for only myself, but I feel inclined to help.
You have a lot of experience searching for things in the middle of a desert. Lost archaeological sites. Sorry.
Not exactly, but I did spend most of my life in the Ember Steppe.
And I come from a family of treasure hunters.
I'm a fucking minotaur. I'm a pack mule.
That's true. You see, Mantuk is just in. You see Ulthar at this point, kind of leaning on the door, observing this conversation go down. And as you say, I come from a family of treasure hunters. There's a moment where you look, you catch a smile. He's like reminiscing a little bit about some of the adventures you went on with your dad.
Nice.
He's just kind of like eyeing you up and watching the son of his friend at 15 years old negotiate with a world power, So.
A kid you've only seen grown up on Facebook, you finally see him graduate college.
Exactly. That's like
it's like, oh shit, he's a person.
Do you want to
I've
help
seen it during this campaign.
so proud of them.
I just dirt in my eye.
I swear to God, yesterday he was in diapers. Oh no, did chat reset? I gotta welcome to the
he
chat.
still is today, but it seems like also yesterday he was.
Yeah. That's a thing we don't talk about when you turn a certain age,
Your help could be useful. I'm not going to tell you what you should do. There are other things that may need attention, but if you feel this is the priority, you're welcome to join us on our journey. Have you spent much time in the Underdark?
Nope. Heard about it though. Oh boy.
Long
Also
trip.
same.
For you to join me. About 3 weeks. All underground. That being said, if you wanted to go the above ground route, that's doable too. I don't know how good you are at traveling incognito, and he's looking at the shiny golden tiefling individual.
You know,
And the Minotaur without dark vision.
Stanislav clocks that and chuckles. You know, it's not too bad. Kind of. No, he doesn't have his armor on right now, so.
Well, if you want to tag along with me, we'll go back the way we came. And if you do that, I can leave a few more men here. Provided you, help keep the king safe along the way. He says, and the tone suggests, more like he doesn't so much need it, but, is just trying to make you feel useful a little bit there. This is a man who carries himself with a lot of power.
Stanislav leans into his acting, his gladiatorial acting a little bit, and straightens up and, yes, my lord.
Greg does like a very stoic version of it, but very wrong.
Okay. Oh my god. We're gonna have to teach you guys something about dwarven culture. Good thing it's a long trip.
Some key words would be very helpful too. Actually, we had that trouble earlier, so if you could write down. Actually, yeah, let's maybe write. I'll write down some words and you could translate them for me. One second.
Tuka just grabs like adolescent Gregory by the mouth, just like shut him up.
It was definitely sarcasm. 100% sarcasm.
Well, would you possibly mind if we just maybe talk this over as a group before we fully make our decision? But
I will also remind you the danger of Ropesh is also something we're going. I'll be honest with you. There's not a lot in this world that scares me, and you believe that statement wholeheartedly, even as he says it insight check free. If someone were to reassemble all the pieces and he was to return with even half of the power he had, none of this will matter. Doesn't matter which cities get buried, there'll be no one in them. Except corpses. We know where one of the pieces is.
Oh.
Yeah, they discussed it last week with you.
Yeah.
In the tomb of JT the Just. Outside of Ravencrest.
Mm-hmm.
Which is northwestish of where you guys are now. I don't actually even have it on this map because it's not the zoomed in version, I don't think. Might?
Perhaps.
Oh, I do.
Should we send a scouting party there, or should we head there ourselves after we make?
Real quick. So, you guys see the Daggerwood Forest now? Ravencrest is all the way up here. And you guys are kind of all the way down off to the bottom right here. So it is quite a trip. It is quite the journey. That is your decision. I have my own responsibilities here. And we can't spare the men, but we can handle the search on our own if you feel that's whatever you choose. I suggest you choose it quick.
And sorry, DM, was he suggesting we travel with him back to his home now?
He's inviting you to travel with him through the Underdark back to his home and then on to the investigation, because based on where the temple was, which was kind of down here in the Ember Steppe, Torchspire, the mountain, is just north of that location. So he would essentially be taking you through the entire Incendis mountain range from one coast all the way to the other.
Okay.
It is a trip.
Space goes coast to coast.
Yeah, so you could you could follow him, go through the Underdark. He leaves a few extra men back here to protect the place, which is potentially beneficial. You can travel overland and go about the investigation on your own, or meet up with them later, or you can head north and figure out what's going on up there. It's up to you. Or you could go look for a job somewhere else too. There's plenty of shit. It's your choice.
I want to cut grass.
Yeah. The world is about to end. There's an ancient necromancer being pieced back together. Let's go do menial labor.
Greg is
Decided
retiring.
to take up beekeeping.
Tuga can
That's a great
bake
idea.
bread.
Yes, bread and bees. That'll be the name of our B&B. Bread and beer. Bread and beer. Fuck.
and bull booty.
It almost sounded like he was gonna say
Quadruple
bread and booty there, like a legit. Hell yeah. That
B,
name's
bread and
familiar.
booty.
I wonder why that name is
Let's go to my
familiar,
ass.
Just JTB. Wonder why Sir JT the Just sounds familiar to you, but so
Hi, JTB.
I'll
All
leave
right,
it.
we'll give us some.
Yeah, is there somewhere to grab a bite to eat here? It's been a long trip, and I've been eating bugs for.
Oh, yeah,
They're
we actually
good.
have
The delicacy.
we have a great chef here.
Well,
Yep. I'll point him to where the canteen is or whatever it's called.
he sees Ulthar at the door, who is like, he just kind of clocked who this dwarf is. Like, it took him a minute. You guys were just caught.
Yeah.
And then this dwarf king turns around. He sees the armor, and like there's an immediate snap of recognition there.
Yeah.
And as the dwarf, the king of the dwarves, Ulthar, is walking past him, he's just like, "If I may," and he just follows him out of the room, and you hear him just start pestering him with questions as they're on the way, and he just leads him
Good.
over to the mess hall. And you guys are left with Firo and Orlyle both just sitting on the bench, kind of eyeing you apprehensively. And like, they're still pretty beat up from the big escape there. Orlyle took some hits. Firo is still pretty beat up, so they were not going to be fighting today at all. So like,
Mhm.
like they're still in their normal clothes, no weapons. Everything's
I'm
all
gonna-
right then.
Yes. Well, for the most part.
Most
Um,
part, yeah.
Those aren't just dwarves. Those are the last of the Andarans.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed his ears looked interesting. I didn't want to bring it up. It's a bit of a touchy subject with some folk.
Rightfully so.
Be honest with you, I
Yeah.
can't say I've ever seen a half dwarf, half elf before. But it was this first time for everything.
I don't know if many living beings can say that they have.
Yeah.
I have questions, but perhaps it's best I wait. Though he seems amenable to humor, at least, unlike most of his kind.
I don't know if I like his sense of humor all that much.
Greg says, looking wistfully out the door.
Is he a problem?
I think he might be a man of extremes. You know, black and white and all that jazz.
Nope, we're hydrate. Thank you, Peter. You just redeem a hydrate when you're thirsty? Is that what you do? Like, I want to sip. I want to sip this beer a
When
little.
I feel like you're a little parched, I just toss one in there, DM.
I appreciate you, buddy.
Pete's calling us thirsty.
You
I
know.
want to fuck the king of
Well.
the dwarves. Let's just make that clear. Yes.
it.
Say it. I'm gonna make a big scene out of it.
We're not gonna say it. We're gonna role play it. JT
Sure.
wants
I
us
make
to
a big
hydrate
thing
too.
out of everything.
Well, we have a decision to make.
It sounds like you do.
JTV.
Do a double take. I appreciate you, JT. Sounds like you've got a lot on your plate. If it helps at all, we're happy here. The people are content. Not
That's
a lot of
good.
complaints, honestly. I don't know if you noticed, we've even got a little shop starting to form outside.
Yeah, I did actually notice that.
It's all kind of coming together, and it's really it gives hope.
Yes.
Mhm.
You were saying about the dwarf, he's a man of extremes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
I
be-
just
Be honest with you, in times of war, perhaps a man of extremes isn't a bad thing. Is he a man of extremes that we can count to be on our side?
50-50.
I believe that he is on his own. He truly believes he's on his own side.
That's
And that
fine, but
and that we would be on his side.
do our goals align?
For now, absolutely.
for now.
Then perhaps it's best we don't turn our backs on willing allies, even if the cost is high. We're doing fine here, but we could... They walked in. There was... If they had wanted to kill us all in our sleep, thing we could have done to stop them.
You're right.
Hmm.
Perhaps it's better to deal with a man of extremes for the time being, till it's no longer beneficial, at least.
I would try to kill the people that were trying to kill me, though, just so we're all clear with that.
Are you saying you agree with him?
I do, but if people are trying to kill me, I would kill them or attempt to.
That's fair. How extreme
Oh,
are
you-
we talking here?
Genocide. And total destruction of cities, regardless of who's in it. Children, slaves, kittens. Doesn't matter.
Well, do you think we could stop him if we tried?
They're very small in number.
That
And
we
they
saw.
are very big. Very big, big men.
How many
Big
did they have?
dwarves. Not many, but
I don't know if there's more there back at his home.
How many did he have with him?
30.
Maybe 40.
Look outside and tell me how many fighting men you see, and tell me again if you think we have the numbers in that scenario.
I would honestly be kind of relying on. I look over at Mantuka and Stan.
The muscle.
and the good old Clayface over there. Hopefully coming up with something big and extravagant and then saving the day again. But
Clayface.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think he's right about what he said about Ropesh. And
honestly,
I think that might be the better way to go.
I was really just wanting to go along with him to maybe talk him out of thinking that way, but I don't think that's how this is going to work.
No, I don't think.
I think,
Especially after everything that's happened to him and his people.
yeah,
You need- One thing you need to understand. We've been at the heel of the Imperium for hundreds of years.
Right.
Members of my family have been born, raised, and died under their rule. That's a few hundred years compared to nearly 3,000. There's a lot of animosity there, and kind of looks over at Orlyle, who's like looking at him like, don't say it. And he's like, perhaps we shouldn't stand in his way. If there's anything we can do to minimize the casualties, then that may be the best course.
Oh my god, I just realized I walked into a room and said, maybe he should calm down to a group of people who've been persecuted by these people for thousands of years. Maybe he should just take a chill pill.
Shut up, Karen.
It's not a big deal.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Because he tried yoga. Oh my god.
Stanislav has a long, thoughtful moment, and well, you might be right, but yeah, that time is yet to come. But you might be right.
Cross that bridge when we get to it. We're not ready to be attacking anything. For now, he's a valuable ally, and I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't mind having some extra security around here.
And honestly, the thing he wants to find, that doomsday weapon, if it even tenuously comes into our arsenal of things to do, holy shit.
I will kill many babies for this weapon.
Oh,
All of the babies.
Maybe
Oh, look,
that's not the
fly off.
route we go. So what are you lot thinking then?
what a
We're
baby.
fine here, and if we can get some extra muscle in, we'll be safe. And I'll be honest with you, I may not have the most fondness for dwarves, but I've seen what they can do. I've seen them fight, and it's
Diggers.
impressive. I'll be honest with you, if even 5 of those men down there, or those dwarves down there, decided to kill everyone in this building, it would probably not be all that difficult for them to do. Except for you two. He says, gesturing at the 2 near godlike muscle-bound himbos in the
The
room.
glare stops as soon as he said, "Except for you two."
We have
Goes
no
back to
we have
smiling.
no training, very minimal military force here. The elves are off dealing with their own on putting their own fires out, and
Right.
Then after this conflict, we can come back and train their soldiers, and charge them money. Me and you and
Potentially.
me.
I'm not opposed. Well, you lot make your decision, and we'll be fine here in the meantime.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
What do we think?
Well,
I think we should go away from all NPCs.
I like the idea of Manchuka saying NPCs.
the fuck does that mean?
I mean, other people I don't fucking know from the group. Smelly gets in near us.
Yeah, Smelly's exception. I am worried. I trusted the king really quickly. I don't know if I made the right choice there, but I think everyone's making good points. We need to trust him for now.
For now.
And I also think that if we don't go with him and don't help him find it, he's going to find it anyways, but it's probably going to take him longer without us.
That's a good point.
Might end up being a good thing. Plus this, I really feel strongly that we need to deal with Ropesh.
Yeah, that's just a thing that, like, you know, that's a fireball headed towards Earth, no matter who's side. That's not on anyone's side. Ropesh is on the side of death.
So, are we going under the ground or not under the ground? That's all I need for planning. Underground, under the ground.
Well,
I above.
you have
I don't think
options.
we'll-
Perhaps, be honest, traveling above ground's difficult. Traveling by sea or underground would probably be easier. And as you know, we do have
Right.
boats, so
That'd be optimal.
I would well, it's all
Maybe
up-
just
If shit
across the
goes
bay?
south, I will confiscate a boat and sail home.
I'm sure there's someone here who would be willing to take you across the bay if needed. Alternatively, you could try traveling overland. You have options. I think it's I can't tell you what to do.
Okay, full meta, boys. Which type of travel do we want to?
That's
You want
that's
to do a little
yeah.
sea shit? You want to go fucking underground?
Ian, can we have
creepy
the
crawly?
world map?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Do I have
I'm
a map
leaning
of just
Yarhar.
the Ember Steppe, or do I have other area maps?
You
think I
guys
only have the Ember
just
Steppe.
have the Ember Steppe because that's what you picked
Okay.
up when you first arrived, and you guys have never bought maps. But that being said, it'd probably be fairly doable to find a map. There's a shop
going, like,
here. There's sailors here.
Here.
Yeah,
right?
basically. Yeah, and the more zoomed in map. You're up south of Galder Seat.
Is there a road that goes through here? A small road
Where?
that goes through the forest?
Yeah, here I can show you on this map a little more detailed actually. So basically what you're looking at for travel to Ravencrest is going like landing in Red Watch by boat, traveling up kind of in a general that early direction, following the roads, or just going across land if you want to. Alternatively, you can try to like come out in the mountains over here somewhere and just straight up through Southwatch up to Ravencrest, or yeah, that's what you're working with. There's a lot of map
Alright.
to work with. You got the world is your oyster.
Hey, if we
And
go through the woods
underground
there,
is
it'd be fun.
more direct. Correct, DM?
You'd have to talk
We
to
don't-
talk to the dwarf about that one
Yeah.
in terms of
He
how
was gonna
direct.
go
but-
Cool.
He was going to go underground to the west side
Yeah,
of
so
the
he's
Ember Steppe.
going from like right
Yeah.
here all the way down to Torchspire. So he's going to be going like basically just following the mountains. So it is possible he knows a way to like get out to the north as well. So it's up to you guys which options you want
yeah.
to explore.
I don't think that's our
Hey, man.
our
All right,
play.
gents.
Thank you.
Let's.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
Ocean.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's going
kinda
to be a lot
digging it.
faster.
Yeah.
You got a
Danny,
raid?
Something of a seaman.
Thank you for the raid, Amanda. We appreciate it.
How large of a boat could we potentially get? Is there one we could fit a cart on?
Unlikely. I'm not sure how we would load a cart onto a boat from here.
Yeah, we could partially disassemble it.
That would be doable. I mean, yeah, it's just there. We have cargo boats. Tell you what, give me. I think I have an idea. Give me a couple minutes. And he's-
Minutes?
I'm
How
going.
powerful is this man?
Yeah,
Who knows?
because we can just put the cart on there, and then I summon the horse when we get to the other side. We have cart and horse. We don't need any of the transportation.
Hey Stan, we're poor, remember? Mr. Maker's the one with money, and we don't know that.
That's true. You don't know that Mr. Maker's fucking loaded, dude.
Yeah.
I don't have any money.
So,
I can
He
sell the
leaves.
diamonds that I kept.
yeah. Go ahead and discuss amongst yourselves.
Because I gave him the jewels back, but I put the diamonds in my component.
I
pouch.
just don't know if that's enough for a passage like of this variety.
I don't know if he's gonna make us pay anything.
That's also true. Hopefully not.
Well, it's better than like, hey sir, can I have a ride in your boat? Oh, cool, it's this money. And you're like, well, and just walk right by him and just fucking sit down. Like,
150 gold worth of diamonds is a lot of money.
That's true.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't think that's the problem, but yeah, no,
I'm
I think
cool
we should
with
go.
riding the lightning. If you want to ride the lightning and just see how it goes, I'm fucking down.
I have a
Always Mocus.
goat's horn.
I also think it's a good idea because we won't have to go overland in the Imperium at all. We'll just be at sea. So.
The less
Yeah,
we
we'll
have to
fuck
do
it
that,
up
the
in the
better.
sea. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which
Yep.
way. We'll get the guards that are under the ground. Fuck it up.
You know that big Imperium sneak.
Okay. So we're boat.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
we'll take boats for 1,000.
Har har fiddle-dee-dee.
Being a pirate is all right with me. So,
Yay!
you guys wait a little bit, and you're kind of discussing amongst yourself, figuring out what you're gonna do. And after a while, the dwarf king comes back in with like crumbs in his beard and like ale on his breath. So did you make your mind up yet?
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna try and go on that lead for the piece of Rapesh.
Probably a good idea. Any idea how you're getting up there? I know a way.
Up, 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 up.
Oh,
Well, our plan was to
Our
go take a boat through the Bay of Sorrows and then travel through land. But if you know a faster route, we're all
I
yours.
don't know about it's faster, but it's hidden. You have your own shit to deal with down there. If you're interested, there's well, my people have lived in these mountains for thousands of years. There's not a lot of places left for us to tunnel. If you want, you can follow me and we can split up and get you out near Southwatch in the cliffs.
Mm.
Up to you though. Boat sounds fun. Who doesn't like floating? There's like a
Condescending son of a bitch.
yeah. There's like a palpable like who's gonna fucking take a boat? That fuck.
And we could always get a new cart in Southwatch. That wouldn't be a problem.
Right. Yeah, we've been there before.
Well, let's wait until was it Orlisle or Fiero that ran down? It was Fiero, right?
left.
Let's just wait to. Fiero said he had an idea and then ran away. Said give him a couple minutes, so I'd see what he says.
All right. Well,
It's like Shark Tank.
after a while, you kind of it takes a little longer than 2 minutes. You feel like the 2 minutes might not have been in it. And after a little bit, you see Fiero come back in, followed by an individual with like kind of a ocean blue skin tone, seaweed colored dreadlocks that are flowing about halfway
Ooh.
down his back with beads and gems and different things kind of woven into them. He has a trident slung over his back and is wearing very simple captain's attire. He's got a nice leather jacket on that has no sleeves, and there's a pirate hat, like a tricorn tucked under his arm. And you see the arms just from what you can see where the jacket, which is very clearly just been torn off, like there were sleeves that he's just removed himself, covered just in tattoos of varying kinds. You see a heart with the word mom written in it and a bunch of different shit just covering his arms. And he kind of just comes in after Fiero, and Fiero's like, this is, well, an old friend. This is Silvos. Silvos kind of nods. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I hear you might be wanting to travel on my boat.
Yes, if possible. My name's Stanislav. This is Gregory and Mantuka.
Bogus.
You guys look over at Gregory, and he is absolutely just starstruck by this person. He's just
Oh yeah, he is beautiful. Like this is an absolute like himbo of a man. He's not like super buff, but he's very like you can tell he spent all his life on boats working the ropes and everything. He's very, very like tightly muscled.
Guy, I'm
It's like
Hagrid.
shoe leather.
Hi, I'm Gregory.
Pleasure to meet you, Gregory. And Mantuka and Stanislav. I hear you're, looking to do some traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have much, time on the sea?
I have a little here, little there.
DM, how long did it take to go from
Collectively, you've probably spent like 4 weeks on a boat, the entirety of which you were chained in the bottom of it.
from the island back to the mainland? Though, did we just kind
You
of
took a
absorb
portal.
back to the
You
mainland?
took a
right?
portal.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you didn't. There
Yeah.
was no boating back on over there.
Stanislav was going to say
Zero
about 4 weeks, but they were all
Eh.
spent in chains. So
I went fishing with my dad once.
There's zero help. I'm the only one. I'll help.
Well, for what it's worth, it's not going to be a very difficult trip. We leave in the morning if you're interested. We're traveling light. We need to make some repairs to some of the cannons, so they are not with us at the moment. So hope we don't run into any trouble.
That's okay. We have 2 cannons right here. I point to Mantuka and Stan.
Stan just subtly flexes.
I have more javelins.
Ah,
Well,
Or install chains on existing javelins.
like I said, we leave in the morning, bright and early before the sun comes up. Meet us by the well, he kind of just looks below to where you know the docks. We'll call them the docks from now on. Where the docks are waiting for you guys.
The Hickory Dickory Docks.
No, never.
The Hick Dick Docks.
Nah,
That's
that's
better.
worse. That's worse. Why would we want to call it that?
I
That's
realize what I
terrible.
said, but I'm not changing it.
No worries, Rusty. Welcome
Ding
in.
ding 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 ding.
That's
ding,
now
ding.
3 pieces of Rostodia assembled. We're working on it. Soon we will have 5, and we will conquer the world. Is the plan. So, if there's any business you guys like to finish up, I guess the Ulthar, the king of the dwarfs there. Well, if you're not coming with me, I'm gonna need to take a few guards back.
Oh, of course.
I'll leave 30 with you. I'll take 10 back with me.
Sure.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's an easy trip
Thank
for
you
us.
so much.
Don't worry about it. Well, best not waste any time. We got a long trip. Good luck, and when you finish up all of this, come find us at Torchspire. My sister will know the way in.
Do you have any way of contacting people magically?
Quite specifically, no.
I've been kind of working on that myself, but I haven't gotten to that yet.
No, we have the capability, but for our own safety, there's well, quite a bit of rules and strictness surrounding magic, and a number of barriers preventing it. Like I said,
Understandable, yep.
if you need to, send an eagle to Torchspire. My sister will get it. She'll show you the way. If you... There's a bit of satisfaction there where he's kind of like, you guys aren't going to come with me through the tunnels, that's fine. Good luck climbing the mountain if you survive the trip. If we find anything, I will, I'll send word. I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Welcome, and
Felicia.
he looks at you and puts a hand on your shoulder, Gregory.
He sort of sinks down a little.
Thank you. If it weren't for you, I never would have found what I was looking for. He gives you just a tap on the shoulder, and you feel like the heavy iron gauntlet like kind of sink you down a bit.
Oh, Gregory remembers every single moment.
I almost went
Just-
with thanks for helping me find it, but that seemed cheesy.
On the last pound, he sort of just grabs he has to hold like both hands just to encompass one hand.
Just think about what I said. Please, sir, Your Highness.
I told you. We pick a target and you can get him out. Do it.
Right, but
That's all I'm willing to give.
just promise me you'll at least just once, one sleepless night, just think about it.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you
Well,
very much.
Roll
He
me,
doesn't bow.
roll me an insight check on that, please.
Oh no. He's not gonna do it.
You don't know. Roll me an insight check. We can find out. Mr. Smelly. Got a 19 on the last. A 16. Okay. And roll straight to 20 here and see what happens.
Yeah.
You believe him. You think
Yeah.
like, yeah, my words got through. He's gonna go home. He's gonna think about his action. And this man who has been persecuted for 3,000 years or his people is definitely not gonna commit mass
Yeah.
genocide against the people.
Gonna
who
give him a
persecuted.
second chance.
Yeah, he's gonna lose all kinds of sleep over it. But he smiles. And like there's a moment where he's like he understands where you're coming from with it.
Yeah. This
And, like, he
naive
gets-
little fuck.
Yeah, basically, like there's a moment like he's like, "Oh, you sweet, sweet angel."
Yeah.
And he
Sweet
j-
summer
gives you
child.
one more tap on the shoulder, a little harder this time. Remember what I said. And like with that last slightly threatening remark, he turns and leaves. You hear him kind of yell something in Dwarvish to his men. Gear up, and you just hear like the sound of like iron just clanking on itself as a bunch of dwarves just stand back up and ready themselves to move. And he, in about 30 minutes from then, you see that him and that division of 10 dwarves just venture back the way they came down through the cavern below, out past the tomb. You guys have an evening to do with what you will here in the sanctuary before the morning. Is there anything you'd
Isn't it
like
like
to do?
the middle of the goddamn night?
Yeah, I guess. So you have like the rest of tonight.
You were asleep. Yeah.
Effectively. Yeah, you were asleep.
Mhm.
So you have long enough to get a long rest in to avoid the exhaustion because you guys were halfway through sleeping anyway. But if there's any last minute business, now would be the time. Or morning would be the time.
I'm gonna just run to the infirmary and talk to Ilsevere real quick before we go.
Yeah, you
He's still
see
there.
him with Mr. Maker, and he's got like a cold cloth on his head. He's taking care of him. He's making sure he's not moving. Like every time you walk in, Mr. Maker's like, "Oh, it's my friend," and he puts his like fucking hand on his chest and just holds him down. And like you know how strong your brother can be. Even like he's not really like a strength guy, but like you know how firm that grip can be. And he just pushes Mr. Maker down onto the bed and just holds him there. Hello, brother. How's it going?
Not too terrible. He looks like he's gonna be fine.
I'm starting to have my doubts. And as you're saying that, Mr. Maker's like, I think I'm gonna... Nope. And he pushes him back down. Did you have something you needed to say?
Yes, we are leaving in the morning for...
No surprise there.
Yeah, we're going to find perhaps the last part of Ropesh that has not been claimed.
Well, a noble goal. Dangerous one, brother.
I don't know if there's anyone else that can do it.
Oh, I'd say, particularly, sorry, that accent went places. Given your newfound faith, I think you may just be the man for the job. But if
Hoping
you
so.
die fighting Necromancer and you come back, I'm sorry. You know what I must do.
Oh, of course. Don't tell me you wouldn't enjoy it just a little bit.
I did always enjoy kicking your ass. It is very fond memories of childhood.
Stanislav just laughs and puts his hand on his shoulder.
I think the
We'll
days
be
of
gone.
doing that are long since behind me, though. He like pats you on your very firm bicep.
We'll probably be gone for quite a while. It's quite a journey.
Where are you heading?
Ravencrest.
Ravencrest. It's Ravencrest.
We're going to Ravencrest.
Hmm. I can't say I've ever made my way up that far. What brings you up there?
Well, according to the king, he
Is that who that was? He didn't carry himself like a douche or anything.
Yeah, that was the last. Those are the last
Hello,
Andarans,
Monax.
and that's their king.
Probably very fun at parties.
Me.
But he told us that that's where some of his people are keeping a piece safe, and that he can't spare the manpower to go look, and that's what we've decided to do.
There's not a lot of manpower to go around these days, and it's probably well suited for your group. You travel well. You work well as a team. And as he's saying that, he kind of looks down at Mr. Maker. He might be a little bit, and again, Mr. Maker tries to sit up and just like right flat back down onto the bed. Stop moving or I'll knock you out. Mr. Maker's like, okay. Just kind of look up at him absentmindedly, his face still continuing to contort and shift. At this point, I think maybe we hit him really hard in the head one more time, and that does trick.
Probably not, actually.
What could it hurt?
Hard reset.
Hard.
Well,
reset.
we're making the first leg of our journey by sea, so I believe the ship doctor should be able to look after him.
Oh, he's not going anywhere.
Oh?
Does he look like he's ready to travel to you? Yeah, like again, the face is shifting. Like his arms are growing buff and then skinny again. His fingers are getting longer and then shorter. He is not travel ready. Believe me, and
All right.
I've traveled with this man. I've spent an awful lot of time with him. Not so much recently, just a little bit. I've talked to him. I've gotten to know him over the 10 minutes or so I've had the chance. I have the feeling if he wants to find you, he will. I've seen the rocket
He's
boots.
pretty good at it. Oh yeah, that's right.
He can literally fly. I'm sure he'll find
Great.
his way.
All right. Well,
I'll
the
miss
journey
you.
itself shouldn't be too hard, but yeah, I will miss you as well.
I wouldn't speak too soon. The journey is always harder than the destination. He slaps a hug on you. I'll miss you. Try not to get yourself killed again. If you come back a zombie, can't make any promises. Actually,
good
I
luck
can. I make
fighting.
promise that I kill you. Again.
If you can kill the most jacked zombie you've ever seen, then
It'll be a real shame if you die and you start to decompose, lose all that muscle structure, it'd be bad. Be bad for you. You worked so hard. Come on, one more. And he throws another hug on you and squeezes a little tight this time.
Mhm.
I will take care of him, and when he's ready, I will send him after you.
all right.
Holding him down at this point, not even giving him. Get some sleep. You're going to need it.
Indeed.
You too. Okay. Absolutely out of it. And you return to your chambers for the night. Is anyone else getting anything done? Yeah.
Oh, Greg's still got a huge goose egg he's got to nurse.
That's true. You did take a pretty big hit to the head, Mantuka.
Yeah.
Mantuka's gonna go back to his bedchambers and just not that he's gonna get a response, but he's just kind of focusing in on Mogus and do a little quiet non-rage prayer, just try to commune, even though he feels like he hasn't felt a connection in a bit, but he's still kind of going through the rituals.
You definitely feel like the recent failures in terms of losing in single combat to Stanislav.
Jesus
I'm sorry.
Christ.
I'm sorry. It's
Good,
not
that's
my.
fine.
I'm sorry. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. You chose a god of You chose a god of conquering, and you keep fucking losing. All right, that's not my fault. I didn't make the rules.
Drag him, sis.
Get roasted. You do feel like your connection to Mogus has been strained lately. Your recent failures in combat, getting knocked out, getting captured, all of that has weighed very heavily on your soul. But having met
poor
this
battle
dwarf
boy.
king now, who is very much like war, we are going to crush all of our enemies, has kind of lit a fire under you, and again you're understanding the emotion and the range he's coming from. Yeah,
I have a dependent now.
I had an absolute brain fart there. Shit. What was I saying? I lost that mid-sentence. I did total brain
Mogus
shutdown.
connection.
Mogus
Yeah,
connection.
Getting into the vibe because they
Nice,
going
well
war.
done. Okay, so
I'm
as you
offended.
sit there, roll me a religion check at advantage, please. At advantage! I'm giving you
I
advantage.
want to say it's 0.
Mantuka. Rusty Ragnar loves your beer, Pete.
Sweet.
Great beard.
Yeah. Alright, the
Damn.
first one, 15.
Hey,
Flatty.
50. Good night, Kieran. Thank you for coming to hang out, buddy. I appreciate you.
That baby.
Thank you for gifting the sub for Merc for Hire, too. I missed that. Peter, you got
Oh
something,
yeah, it was
Kieran?
awesome. Yeah, a 3-monther. Thank you so much.
I completely spaced that. Thank you so much.
I shouted out. I just didn't give it proper airtime.
I appreciate it. Yeah, so with a 15, you sit there, and it's like you don't actively commune with your gods. Mogus has never straight up just reached out and communicated with you verbally. You gather that's not a thing he does. But as you sit there, just in the middle of your room, like instead of praying with like hands closed together or something like that, you're just sitting, kneeling with your hands clenched so tight, your knuckles white through the fur that grows on them even, and like digging your nails into your palms as you're like, Mogus, Mogus, and you're just kind of like trying to focus, not on the rage, but on the power. And as you do so, you are blinded as the candles that sit on your nightside table burst into a gout of flame and then are burned to a cinder and left in ashes. And you feel the full support of your god behind you for the first time in... You don't know if it's because it's the right thing to do, but you are on a path of war, destruction, and chaos, and this is the first time in many moons that your god has looked down on you and actually seen something resembling a follower of worth.
Red flag. Red flag.
Red flag indeed. But like as you like the candles just burn to a cinder and the ashes just sit on the table amongst the burnt wax. What's up?
With this new infused power and the burning of the cinders and stuff, I almost feel like it would be the perfect time for like maybe Mantuka's hooves to have a little bit of a smolder to them.
Oh, yeah, it's not a bad idea. As you sit there and you see the
Like,
flames
flame on, smolder!
erupting, you start
Hooves,
feeling something in your hooves, something you have not felt in a very long time. You feel a burning sensation as you feel once again like your hooves are being dipped into the hot iron, and you look down as there is just a red glow forming around the edge of your hoof, like it is red hot.
Athlete's foot, yeah!
It burns. You feel it.
Ooh,
You're gonna
come
be
back
feeling it.
into that,
Roll
yeah.
me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay.
Head on.
This
Fly
is-
to the forehead.
You said you wanted smoldering iron feet. Okay, this is the best way I can do that. Jeez.
Oh,
Feels so-
Oh god. Okay.
I got kicks. I got
heartburn.
You're still gonna take a little damage from it. What's the heat metal
kicks.
spell?
Like all the time, or just like what's like define when I'm gonna be taking. Like if it's like every like
I don't
X,
know.
I'm like okay.
No, you're not just gonna take like a shitload of damage constantly. But for now, right off the bat, I rolled max. You take 6 points of fire damage as your feet are just burned. You see steam coming off them. You smell burning a keratin, I guess, because it's a hoof, and hair. And then you see the iron, like it still has a faint heat and red glow to it, but after a while you push through the pain. While you're not actively under the effects of the heat metal spell, that was painful as shit, and you look as there's just an ever so faint smolder of smoke coming out from under your hooves.
All right, cool.
Good luck.
God power, what's up?
Good luck falling asleep with that.
Always have your feet hanging out of the bed.
Just in a bucket of water when he's trying to relax at all times.
Joke's on you, I can sleep anywhere.
Fair. So, as you all take your long nights, finish your long night's rest, and awaken the following morning, we're going to go to break because it's been an hour and a half. I need to absolutely hit the bathroom. So,
Hit it.
we will be back in a few. This is a nice little 10-minute break. I want to thank you guys hanging out and being a part of our adventure today. It's been a lot of role play. We're hoping to get to some adventure fun in the next little bit here. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, we'll be back in 10. Please do stick around. We won't be long. What's up, everybody? We're back. Thank you for sticking around and more people showing up. What up, Headshot? How you doing? You don't get a shout out?
Sure.
Shit, let's get a headshot. Or a shout out for Headshot. There you
Brian,
go.
are we both wearing salmon-colored shirts?
Oh, it's Day of the Salmon. We're sad. That's a cow's
much.
shirt. We love cows on
Yeah.
here, dude. Fucking shout out Cows Ice Cream. That's a sponsor I want to lock down. Like we're gonna
that'd
get
be
on that
great.
shit right now.
Oh,
We're gonna-
yummy.
Yeah, all of the ice cream we can eat. Oh god.
Dare be going to Banff.
Banff. Go to
Banff.
Banff.
Let's all take a vacation to PEI.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This is the
I'll
first
show
time
you my old stuff.
This is
I'll
like
show you
an-
my high
we
school.
got the all Canadian stream today. This is crazy. It's never happened. So,
Oh, hey there, buds. How's it going?
oh no.
Who's your
you
mother?
all-
Who's your father? Down at the Legion on a Tuesday.
You all tuck in for an evening's rest, and you awake the following morning after only a few hours because you're woken up in the middle of the night. But you do all complete your long rest. So if you want to go ahead and hit that button, if you haven't already, please do feel free. The hell, foot rest moved. Okay.
Already done.
As you all awaken, again, your stone doors have been slid shut. They're more like sliding doors that slide in and out of the walls, but you all awaken in your nice comfy beds in the room's Gregory, custom decorated for all of you. Been a lot of thought and time into it. Mantuka, essentially a pile of wax that is now rehardened on the table where the candles used to be, and some ashes from the stand is just kind of like lingering on the table there. What are y'all doing? Gather. It is morning time. You hear the sounds of commotion outside. What sounds like some people kind of shouting orders at each other, just not far outside your door.
I've already packed everything up. I'm ready to go, so I'm going to take 10 minutes, toss my armor on, and get out the door.
Smelly!
As you kind of like make your way out, you find Elsevier has just been sleeping in the kind of the lobby. He's got a bedroll since he doesn't really have a room of his own. He's kind of just made a little corner for himself. He sees you kind of like struggling with your armor a little bit, and he kind of like helps you finish it up. Now remember what I told you. Be careful. Don't come back as zombie or I have to kill you. Again, is simple instructions. No, it's challenge. I know challenging for you, but I believe you'll be okay.
That would be a long way for a zombie to travel.
This is true. Okay, well, new promise. If you get killed on mission, I travel up there, make sure you didn't turn into zombie. And if you did, I kill.
Deal.
He hits you with the classic handshake, as you know. And kind of just smiles. I'm going back to sleep. It is too early for me. And he just like
See you
goes
soon,
and
brother.
kind of rolls over at his bedroll and goes back to sleep.
Yeah.
It is bright and early, like sun has just started to come up as you kind of like open the front door to your building as the rest of your party filing in. You see just like a thin little bit of sunlight starting to creep down through the roof, through the cracks in the stone.
I just wanted to make one quick stop to see if the shopkeep is there.
It's more like a table with some shit he'd be selling on it, but at the moment it does not appear to be so. The table is still there.
That's fine.
And it looks like there's like a lockbox underneath. You can see that has been like locked with a pretty rudimentary looking lock. It seems like he's not in his shop, probably sleeping somewhere, maybe in the mess or in the barracks.
Oh, no worries. It's a good thing Mr. Maker is in here.
Not another dead body.
No, an unlocked. locked
Yeah,
box.
that'd be
Oh,
open
that's
real
true.
quick.
Yep.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, I'm just gonna go head back down and group up with the party and get ready to go to the boat.
Okay. As you kind of make your way back down the spiral, coming back to the docks area, the pond or whatever, you do see the individual we met the day before, Silvos, loading some stuff with his crew. Seems to be a very hands-on captain. He's not really like a lead from the back type. He's definitely like helping his crew get loaded up. At the moment, you don't see anyone else that looks to be a pirate necessarily. You see what appears to be a dwarven man who he definitely seems to be a sailor, but he's not wearing like what you would consider like pirate finery like the captain is. He seems to be more of like a deckhand, a very simple looking dwarf with kind of raggedy cropped black hair that sticks out at weird angles, that's just been like caked in salt water long enough without a shower that it is just essentially hair gelled in every direction.
I've dated this guy.
We've all dated this guy.
Yeah. Like he's a practice boyfriend. He's good. He's a good guy.
He's a good stepping stone.
Nice.
He's the gateway drug.
The gateway drug.
The gateway drug. GAYTEDRUG.
Well played. I love that. So, yeah, he just loading up the boat. Silvos looks at him. He's like, "You're moving well today for a man who is as drunk as you were last night." And just smiles. Yeah, we really tied one on, didn't we? Just starts loading stuff, like has like a whew moment, and you see him kind of like choke back a dry heave as he continues working. Silvo sees you. Ah, hello. Is
Close.
It is early. We're not ready yet. Just
I'm-
another 20 minutes, if you don't mind.
No problem. I was just going back down to meet with the group, but can I give you a hand with anything?
You look much stronger than... Please, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Just kind of gestures what looks like bundles of like cloth and fabric and stuff that have just been like bundled up into squares and tied with ropes, and he's just been lugging those back and forth. You do see him dropping off as well, like offloading a different of the like 2 rowboats. One is he seems to be bringing in some food, a little more than the stuff you guys have been having. Like it's a slight improvement over the very plain gruel-like substance that you've been surviving off of since you got here. There's fresh vegetables, there's some fresh meats that were recently like salted. It looks like a pretty good haul. You could
Stanislav has heard the tales of good ship chefs.
we do have quite the cook on board. If you'd like to help out, offload that boat, and he looks at the stairs. I'll be honest, I really don't feel like walking again and again. So how about you handle that for me?
Of course.
That's what I call earning your keep. He kind of just pats you on the shoulder and continues loading with the messy-haired individual. And after a while, you see your party begin making their way out of the house. Smelly is behind Mantuka, arm full of weapons at the ready. And he seems like a little more serious today. Like, while he's been a little more of the kind of timid, and he's a little more sure of himself at this point. He seems to be carrying himself. He feels like he did well yesterday.
So Captain wanted me to... Go ahead.
Looks up at Mantuka. We good to go, boss?
Fucking go, shithead.
Thank you.
Oh, he's been broken.
He gets in the boat, lays down
Fully
all your
Stockholmed.
weapons. Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. And he's ready to go. Smelly's going with you. It seems like Mr. Maker's buddy is going to be staying back with him. Sfartle.
Sfartle.
Fucking Sfartle.
Shartle.
Not Shartle.
The captain wanted me to unload the food boat, right?
Yeah, so like basically they pulled it up here and here, and the back one is the food boat. And he's basically telling you to like bring it all the way up to the mess hall, which is 3 spiral up. It's the 3rd level of this place.
I'm gonna take out my rope, lash it to the front of the boat, take the whole thing up all at once.
Nice. Okay.
I am not going to be anywhere near this. I don't want to die.
Okay, we can do that. We can make that work. So first, I need you to just roll me a survival check. How good are your knots? Like, how we doing here? How firm
I
is
do
that
not
gonna
know.
be?
With
Well,
guidance.
Well done. Sure. Yeah, guide yourself.
Oh, that's good anyways.
Okay, 17.
Okay.
Okay.
20.
Dirty 20. You managed to affix all the things into the boat so they're like secure, and you could basically like tip it over and nothing's gonna fall out completely. You affix a rope to the front and just kind of begin dragging it behind you. So what's the plan here? You going around all 3 spirals? Okay.
Yep.
Roll me an athletics check. I know
Gladly.
you love doing these. And then I'm gonna roll a
Let's
d20
go,
to see
buddy.
something else.
I rolled a nat 1
And it still
Oh.
is a 10.
for a
So-
total of 11.
We don't do critical fails on skill checks. And if you had failed, something bad would have... Well, something bad's still probably going to happen, but dramatically. So, it takes you a little while. You start running. It's running. It's like pulling through the sand. You're getting a good pace going. And you come to the stone stairs, which are quite steep. I don't know if you've ever been to, like, a pyramid. Or, like, you ever been
So
to...
it's like a 45-degree angle.
It's very steep stairs, like
Yeah.
the pyramid,
Maybe
the
more.
Chichen Itza, basically, like very steep,
Oh,
like
okay, like
super
that, yeah.
tall, very thin stairs. These are ancient and have been weathered over time. You kind of stumble up the stairs on your way up, and you feel the boat kind of slam into the stone a little harder than you would have liked, and you readjust
Go
and you
slow for the stairs.
finish your way all the way around and get it basically all the way to the fucking door because you have insane amounts
Perfect.
of strength, and you
He's
stop it
down,
right
boy.
there. Roll me a perception check. Cool. You get the boat to the door of the mess hall with all of the goods
16.
and food loaded up. Yep, I saw.
Two.
Looks all good. You just begin
Alrighty.
offloading stuff.
Once I'm done offloading, I'm going to make sure I didn't completely fuck up the boat.
Yeah, no, you definitely fucked up the boat.
Shit.
As you get it unloaded, as you pull the last thing out, you look and there's like just a scrape where you have worn through, and one of the planks is just jutted out from where you slammed it into the stairs, and there's definitely
Oopsies.
a hole in the
think-
rowboat.
I think Gregory can fix that. Stanislav thinks to himself and picks up the rowboat, puts it over his head, and starts carrying it back down.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
You come back to the bottom, and the captain sees you there with the
Mhm.
boat in your hands. What was all that about?
Oh, I carried the food up quickly.
He looks at the boat.
But don't worry, we can fix it.
I hope so. Otherwise, you're paying for it.
Oh, no problem. Go over to Gregory. Hey, Gregory. Can you do that fixing thingy that you do?
Oh, right, yeah, absolutely. Where is it? Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, I pointed it to him.
Yeah, I can see it. Okay, let's try.
Go right on up to it. I hold the little purple box with stars and right up to where it is, and out of the little box, you just see this tiny little mouse friend popping right on out there.
The mending mouse.
Little mending mouse. He's got a whole arsenal on his back. He's got scissors. He's got little glue sticks. He's got all sorts of stuff to get that all. And he just climbs out of the box halfway as I'm holding it up, and he's just.
From inside the box.
Okay,
Yeah.
very familiar little mending mouse pops up. Goes in, starts just squeaking his way around the thing, and just like add like literally Tim the Toolman's his way, just like repairs it, hammers some nails in, fix the entire plank and everything, and in a matter of minutes you have repaired your boat.
And then he kind of, as he goes into the box, he pops back out, and I look at him very. What are you? He just has a little piece of paper, points at Stanislav, and then gives me the piece of paper and goes into the box. I open it.
Stan, it says mistakes happen and everything can be fixed. Don't beat yourself up.
This is inspirational mouse.
He likes to mend physical things, but also emotional, social situations sometimes.
Dr. Phil Mouse.
Yeah, you gotta mend your home, but then you gotta work on mending the heart too. He's very adamant about that.
I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
You're gonna need
Drool
the
starts
mending
coming
mouse.
out.
Gonna
Stanislav's mouth.
need, you're gonna need to mending mouse this friendship, my dude.
Ah,
That was
Okay.
fucking me.
Fair enough. Oh my god.
Wow, I don't know what to say. Thank you, Gregory.
yeah, I don't know where he gets these little notes. I think he has them like pre-written, so I wouldn't, be too inspired. It's like a fortune
notes?
cookie thing. Yeah.
I love it.
Fortune Ferret is next.
I'll be honest. I've seen many things on my time on the seas. This is a new one. Very cute. I think I figured out what you can do on the boat. You and your little mouse friend will be below deck.
Roger that, Captain.
You don't need to salute me. It's.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the respect you have for my position. Well, at least now that the boat is fixed, and he deadpans Stanislav for a moment, and then goes back, we can make our way to the boat. Have any of you been
Okay.
at sea before? Other than you, Goldman?
No.
Mantuka, you said yes. Okay.
First time.
Well, there's a first time for everything. And at least below decks, there's not a whole lot you can fuck up. He looks at the side. He kind of like sizes you all up, like weight-wise, and divvies you up. He's like, Mantuka, you go in the middle of this boat. Stanislav, middle of that boat, please. Gregory, pick a seat in the front of either. And you know what to do. And you see the dwarf get into the back of one of the rowboats. I guess the front. It's one of the ones you row backwards. So he gets in the front, Gregory gets in the back, and Mantuka gets in the middle. And Stanislav, it's the same for you. For you, it's just you, Silvos, and Smelly this time around.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Is
they can
Silvos
fit a
rowing?
lot. Yeah, Silvos is rowing. You can fit a decent number of people. Like, these are made to move troops ashore if they really need to. Like, you probably fit 10 people in each boat if you really need to. Maybe 8. But he just divvies it up, so there's like 3 per boat at the moment, and everyone's well distributed and everything.
We got
your
like
brother,
3 benches, but it's pretty wide.
basically,
kind of
yeah. Your brother kind of makes his way out. He's kind of stretching. I could not get back to sleep. Figured I'd see you off. Be safe. Good luck. And he puts his hands on the boat and kind of helps turn them around, get them back out to sea, because the exit is that away. He spins the first boat around, spins around the second. Do not let my brother get himself killed, please. Thank you.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll try.
No promises, we make shitty choices sometimes.
This is true. And you all
50-50 chance he comes alive, but I'll try.
you all disappear behind the turn, and you now see, as you're kind of making your way, you've never been down this passage before, as you kind of rowing your way in the current. Silvos is facing you, looking back over his shoulder, which way he's rowing and everything, navigating this kind of thin cavern-like, kind of snake-like structure quite well. Eventually you come out into the entryway that you've come in many times, by where you train the men and everything, where that big canyon is, and you kind of come out this little cave that is absolutely covered at high tide. Like, it is absolutely submerged. You would not have known that was there until today. And just row your way out, and you kind of look up and you see a couple of the dwarf guards now stationed on top of the cliffs above you. One of them holding a spear kind of towards the entrance, and then another with that beautifully made crossbow with like iron arms on it. Just very meticulously designed. They kind of nod on your as you're making your way out. You see Linax up top as well, kind of come to meet you. He seems like he came back sometime in the night while you guys were asleep. Good luck. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Okay.
The boss is like, you have a lot of friends. This is good. That means we can make a lot of money with you. So, as like he rows out the exit of the cavern, now you find yourselves on the Bay of Sorrows itself. The first time this campaign is really touched on the ocean since we actually started the campaign. Yeah, since like
our fiddle-dee-dee.
since
Aren't
off
even
stream
streaming
times.
it then.
So, you begin rowing your way out, and it's pretty easy, as you see. You get right out into the open waters. The waves are calm today. The sea is nice and smooth, and the sun is just beginning to peek over the eastern horizon, kind of silhouetting the Gnarl Peak Mountains against it. Just these jagged rocky formations bending and twisting in every direction. It's very post-apocalyptic looking for a moment, as the orange of the sun kind of reflects through these different twisting mountain forms and everything, and then you see the sun begin to rise up as you're rowing your way out to the boat. It's parked pretty far out from the bay, so as to not arouse suspicion, and you realize as you begin rowing out that it is actually docked at Nisal, or at least on the outside of Nisal, which is an Imperium city. The nerves kind of kick in as a moment as he's rowing, and he sees you all kind of apprehensively looking. Nisal, very small, but or like not small as in like not large population wise. It's very dense. It's nestled between two mountains right on this little bay where you can see the docks. You see Imperium ships, tri-masted, dual-masted, both with massive purple stained sails with different varying levels of like insignia on them depicting the ranks of the ships and everything. He kind of picks up your nerves. Do not worry.
I put my hood up.
If there's anywhere in the kingdom that people were not likely to turn you in, it would be Nisal. You put some coin in anyone's hands here, they'll turn an eye to you. Lucky for you, we are not going on shore today. And he pulls up, and you see as he kind of rows up to this very, I wouldn't say plain looking, it's well constructed. There's not like any wear and tear on the outside apart from a couple areas that look like they've been fresh repaired recently. Like there had been some damage and it's been fixed up. It's got 2 masts with sails that are kind of at an angle as opposed to the more straightforward on ones that you see on the Imperium ships. These have a bit of a tilt to them and a bit of an angular thing. And speaking of which, I can show you the boat right now.
Ooh.
I'm on a boat.
Motherfucker.
That's the boat. Right now, that's just in open seas. So, there's also 2 rowboats on it, but one is hauled on shore and just stored with the goods there, or on board. You kind of pull up to this, it's kind of like squat and quite round and thick. It's definitely like a cargo ship that's been retrofitted for some fighting if it needs to. I definitely tell this was a merchant ship and not strictly designed for warfare. You do look and you notice, on the map you see cannons. There are no cannons on board. He kind of like gestures. Our cannons are getting repaired. We need to replace them. They got a little used recently. And you notice looking up, it's a very simple flag of just a mermaid just holding a trident across just a very light blue kind of what looks like sky, almost like you would only see the mermaid against a clear blue sky, just like white silhouette.
Sexy.
Welcome aboard the Current. This has been my ship for some time, since I acquired it from the previous owners. And since then I've made good money with it. As you can see, we don't fly any insignia apart from my own. We're an independent merchant vessel. We do not engage in piracy. He smiles for a second, just like a brief flash of a smile. But if someone happens to attack us and makes the mistake of trying to come on board, all is fair. We sink them, we take what they have, we sell it, make money. Very simple.
I mean, yeah.
Respect the rules while you are on board. Listen to what I, or the first mate, tells you. You won't have any problems. Only about 2 or 3 days to Red Watch, if the weather is good. Speaking of which, he looks over. Where is Goldtooth? And the guy that rode aboard. Actually, the guy in the crow's nest kind of looks down at you. I think I saw him go down below deck, helping the chef get food ready. He's like, very well. Come with me. It leads you down into the bowels of the ship, which I also have a map for, because put the fucking time in on this.
Bowels.
Bowels.
Ship barrels.
So you're kind of led in this like side door that's quite small that just goes down under a single staircase. The staircase leads up to the to where the wheel and everything is, and then just like this little side door that opens up, revealing a downward staircase going underneath it into a dark and somewhat dimly lit below deck area. And now I need to pull up a thing. There we go. And you see at the front what looks like a bit of a cooking station and a small mess area for the very small crew to eat. This doesn't, like, the ship does not take a super large crew to manage. So apart from the named people that I point out to you, there's a few just basic deckhands that kind of wander around on board helping with tasks. But the standout crew are the people we're going to go through. You see, standing kind of leaning on this kind of like kitchen table contraption where the small fire seems to be boiling a pot, you see jet black fur from head to toe. A tall, rather slender tabaxi individual, bejeweled, just covered in jewelry, absolutely dripped out. As he looks over to you and sees Silvos leading you all down, he smiles and you see the flash of gold on the tip of each of his 2 fangs. Good day. Who we got here? Silvos. Some new friends come aboard to, well, we're taking them somewhere. We're taking them to Red Watch. And they're paying well? He looks over to you. They're paying somehow. We'll negotiate. Show them around, give them jobs. From what I can tell, they will, well, a couple of them would be quite useful. Get the big one with the, probably on the sails. The shiny one, figure out what he can do, and if there's any damage to be fixed, get this little boy and his mouse, fix it for you. I'll be in my quarters. Goes along
the boxes can do a lot. So, you know, you need anything. I can beat cannons too. I can replace those if you need, or a couple of things.
No, I got disadvantage from JTV, and Stanislav got advantage from Kayla. I missed that. Sorry, guys. Just caught it.
Oh.
If I ever miss those, let me know if you see them and I don't.
Continue. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know.
I get advantage and then I leave.
So, you told me I'm to show you lots around then, eh?
Yes, please.
I'm not sure you're going to be useful down here, little one, but let's see. You fit into small spaces.
I don't love to, but I'll do it if I have to.
Wasn't asking if you liked it.
I shouldn't have said it. You're right. Let's go.
Cool. Last I checked, there's some damage here. And he kind of goes over to these bunks and like lifts them up, and you see like some of their goods, the crates, have been damaged by other stuff crashing into them during some kind of engagement on the sea. You see some pretty shoddy patchwork on the inside of the hull where it looks like some work was done, but probably in a hurry. And definitely looks like there's work to be done. Tell you what, you spend your time with that, and come down a couple hours, see how you've done. Just be proactive. See what you can find.
Sounds like a plan. Proactive. That's my middle name.
Kind of bonks on a crate twice. I love to hear it. All right.
Uh-huh.
And you, big one. And he gives you a whack, Mantuka, just like a light flick on the pack. We got some goods we need to move around. Oh, I'll take it. I deserve that. You two, come with me. And he gestures to Stanny and Mantuka. He leads you guys back upstairs and leaves Gregory down here. You see...
Pick heavy things up, put heavy things down.
You see the captain kind of go into the back end of the boat and open these little nice, more nicely decorated doors than the ones you see on the rest of the ship into his quarters. And good luck. Don't cause any trouble. We leave in whenever Goldtooth feels like. You have the helm, my friend. And he closes the door, and just you gather he's probably gonna go get some shut eye because he was up working on shit all night. Goldtooth's like, just right this way. Won't be too long. And he leads you back onto the deck, and you see them like again loading and offloading some of the boats. Mantuka, he's like, you help with that? And how are you at climbing? He looks at
I'm all right.
Stanislav. You dexterous?
Oh.
Fairly.
All right. Well, when we leave, we're gonna need someone to climb up there and get those ropes unhooked and everything. Get the sails deployed. Someone's got to go up and do it. We can't do it all from down here. Sound good?
Think I can manage that.
In the meantime, make yourself busy. Make yourself useful. I trust you're smart enough to do that. He smiles at you. You see the sun kind of ping reflect off one of his gold teeth. You lot seem capable bunch. Try not to fuck anything up. And if someone tells you to do something, recommend you do it.
And
Okay.
Alright, good day.
Bible
He
camp rules. Got
makes his way back downstairs. You see his just long black tail kind of just flicking side to side as he walks. He seems to be a very nimble and capable individual, but he carries himself with someone who's probably not been in a first mate position before, but is doing the job well, just with, some gruffness to it.
Oh, JG.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry for describing things. It's my bad. Sorry for giving them personalities. No, he disappears back downstairs, kind of having to crouch through this tiny little door. Mantuka and Stanislav, it is a difficult squeeze. Like, it is, the door is maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet wide, like 4 to 5 feet tall. It is small, like it literally just ducks under the staircase. So it's a bit of an effort for you to get yourself through. Mantuka kind of has to like turn the horns and figure it out that way. So, Gregory, I want you to roll me an investigation check to try to find some damage to repair on this ship, and we'll see how well you do. Mantuka, we're just going to do a simple athletics check for you as we're getting stuff loaded and everything like that. And then Stanny, we will wait. Thank you for the follow, Tiny Monkey.
Oh, that is so funny that Tiny Monkey followed us because I'd like to do something before I do that.
oh, here we go. What do you got?
I go into my mask or into my cloak, pull out my mask, and sort of just crack off a little piece of it, sprinkle it in front of me, and from that powder just swirls 8 tiny monkeys. All varying shapes and sizes and colors, but they all have a stark white bone mask with little red beady eyes.
Of course, as they do. Yep, yeah.
And they're, I just kind of kneel down and whisper, "Help me find something to fix. I don't know what that is yet."
Okay, so you roll me an investigation check, and I guess we'll do a collective one for the group of monkeys, unless you really feel like rolling 8 intelligence checks with a monkey stat block. I'm curious to see what happens if you want to go that route, but I will allow just a single check for everybody.
I wonder what kind of... Where's Tiny Monkey? Tiny Monkey Gregory. Intelligence. 17 plus 3? Monkeys are smart!
Yeah. Oof.
Not this monkey.
Oof.
Not
So
my monkeys.
it starts really good for you with a 22. You find some of the patchwork he was talking about. You repair, or you find some of the crates that had been damaged. It looks like one had a cannonball just roll right into it and just break the side open. You pull a cannonball out. It's a smaller one, probably for one of the smaller candles, like a 6-pounder.
I still need 3 of the monkeys to help me.
Yeah. Yeah. You manage to find a few spots. However, the monkeys, like as you're looking for that, you turn your back and see that your monkey friends have just taken to absolutely just tearing apart the kitchen, looking for your like stuff to fix. Like they're going through all of the food. You hear the chef start yelling, who you now see as you kind of come around the corner and hear her freaking out. Is a red-skinned tiefling with a kind of short, somewhat stubby horns on her head. Cheerful face, very charming looking individual, but at the moment looking at you furiously. Did you do this?
I sort of did, yes. I pull out the mask and it. Stop now! And I just smell it.
Okay. Don't ever do that in my kitchen again. And you
I'm
can like you
so
hear
sorry.
it in this woman's voice. It sounds like she smokes like an entire bag of pipe weed every day. There is rasp in this voice. Yeah, you even like just smell it coming from the like you thought you were smelling cooking fire, and you are, and then like coming from in the kitchen is just the dense smell of tobacco smoke. Don't ever do that again.
No,
Ever
yeah. Never again. Okay.
No
bye.
monkeys on the ship. No monkeys
on the ship.
Okay, say it one more time.
That's- No monkeys on the ship. No,
I don't think they
monkeys
heard
on
you
the ship.
upstairs. A little louder.
No monkeys on the ship. Never. No monkeys.
Only a fucking bull.
He's
Do
like
I hear
pushing
this?
her forward. Yeah, you, all of you from below, you just hear Gregory. No monkeys on that ship! Just screaming at the top of his lungs at a certain point.
Ah.
Okay, that's
He
fine.
has a lot of night terrors.
It's fine. It's all right. No monkeys on the ship ever. No
Oh,
monkeys.
no monkeys on the ship. No monkeys on the ship.
Good.
No
We
monkeys
normally
on the
lash him to
And
the bed.
You see her pull out a tobacco pipe and stuff it full of some tobacco and just like spark the end of her finger with a little light.
What's that?
You never smoked tobacco before.
I know.
I got into Sprocket voice there. That was the wrong voice, but you never smoked tobacco before.
No. What's that?
She just holds out this lit pipe to you right now.
Okay.
She's still holding it.
so-
She's not letting you grab it. She doesn't really trust you with her prized pipe, but she holds it out and like puts it towards your lips. You just roll me a Constitution saving throw. That was a big hit at disadvantage, my friend. You took that like a bong. Or
You're
two.
basing it off of how much he inhaled? Nice.
I'm taking that as it's a 12. Okay, yeah, I'm taking that as an in character. So with a 12, you immediately begin coughing and retching and like just bending over. And she takes the pipe back and she's like, "That's what you get. No monkeys on the ship." And she goes back to cutting some vegetables, and you see like a smug, self-satisfied look on her
Oh,
face
man.
as she's like cutting veggies with 2 hands while the pipe is just hanging out of her mouth and she's just puffing away on it. Everything that comes out of the
ship. No monkeys on the ship.
Most traumatized child of all time.
is so traumatized. As that's all going, you guys hear this at this point. You just hear screaming and crying coming from down below. Mantuka, with your 23 athletics check, you make like light work of it. You're just reaching into the boat with one hand each, grabbing bundles of stuff and handing it up to people on the ship. After a while, they're going too slow, so you just start bundling it up on your shoulders and carry like a whole bundle of stuff, bring it downstairs and into the mess, which you now see like the hammocks above this are 2 rows. So you see 8 there, there's 16. It's like 2 heights, and below it is just all their storage. So it's kind of like a cargo hold meets a place for the crew to sleep. Doesn't look particularly cozy or minotaur sized now that you're noticing it, but you get all your goods loaded fairly quickly, and after a while Goldtooth comes back and he sees you all doing that and he's like, "You work pretty fast, mate. Gotta say I'm impressed. You drink?" "Yeah, you drink."
Nope. Gonna go work on the rigging.
And then he's gonna walk by him and go earn his keep working on the rigging, up with the deckhands.
Gregory, as you're finishing retching in the corridor down here, you see Goldtooth now being rejected by a drink, just holding 2 cups of ale and like, Eh. Knocks both of them back immediately. You all right there, little one? Look, you're a little thirsty.
Yeah, water would be nice.
Salsa, get him some water.
Oh.
And you just see, like, from out of the kitchen, an arm with a ladle of water kind of dripping over it.
Just gonna come make sure that Gregory is okay after hearing this.
He's, yep. As you finish
Come
up, you
downstairs.
haven't been given your job or haven't been told to get started yet. So you find him just at the corner. How you looking, Gregory?
Not good. Just wet face, just of sweat and moisture everywhere. And he's just sort of got his back against the wall, and he's just gonna go ahead and stand up. I gotta try and
Hey, you alright, buddy? What's going on?
well, yeah, what do you call it? She called it pipeweed? I tried pipeweed for the first time.
Danny, you're familiar with it's just standard pipe tobacco, like
My
Starts
family's
laughing too.
My family's a very healthy family. They didn't do, they don't like to drink and definitely not do that. But I didn't know. I thought it was magic.
Oh, it is. Believe me.
Uh-huh.
You see poof of smoke come out of the kitchen.
Don't worry, buddy. You'll be fine.
She sounds what I imagine dragons sound like.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
What do you
Anyway,
want?
okay. I've wasted a lot of time throwing up. I gotta try and fix some things. I'm gonna... Oh, no monkeys on the ship, Stan. No monkeys on the ship.
You have zero context
Okay.
for that, but no monkeys on the ship.
Sure. Okay. I got
You
it.
heard him. No monkeys on the ship.
No monkeys on the
Beep.
ship.
Feel. Stanislav is so fucking
Uh,
confused.
So I'll say, Gregory, just roll me. This is a straight up Arcana check. Let's just see how
Ooh.
fast you repair all of this shit. You found it. How quickly do you and Mending Mouse work?
Ooh.
Moderately fast. You start, like, at a certain point, you start seeing Goldtooth kind of leaning next to you, watching, sighing heavily.
I'd say near
You
about
almost-
the halfway mark.
You almost done there.
Listen, the box can do a lot, but not anything great. It's a jack of all trades,
Okay.
but
Okay. Well, why don't you jack of all
First
trades your way
performance
into
inside.
finishing the job? That's not the right voice. I'm being the chef. Why don't you just finish up so we can get moving?
yeah, absolutely. No problem at all. I pick up Mending Mouse, just really quietly whisper, "You are my everything. You are the best creature in the box. I promise. Oh my God, just go, 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 go."
It just and it starts going around doing nothing. Roll me another Arcana check.
It looks back at me like, bitch, I know. Okay,
Damn.
okay.
Much faster. And it's like with a little urging from Goldtooth, the first mate, you manage to like put your ass in gear a bit and get the boat all fixed up. Looks like you've done a pretty good job. He's that's a pretty good job.
Thank you.
Not bad for a kid.
Oh.
Tell you what, grab yourself a bite to eat. You worked hard. You earned it. And don't smoke a pipe again. That's nasty stuff.
Yeah, that felt like I was just breathing fire.
You think her voice sounded like that before?
I mean, listen to me, right? But
I'll be honest with you.
I don't really need it.
Probably did. She's from the Hells, but no biggie. Get yourself some food, aight? And he goes
Okay.
upstairs, and you just hear him yelling, "Captain, ready to go!" And you hear, like,
Yeah.
just automatic kerfuffle happening upstairs. The captain comes out of his chambers, jacket at the ready, just flowing behind him, ready to go. He's walking out with purpose. You can see very quickly, like, this is a man who loves to be on the ocean. This is what he does. What's up?
Yeah, after I cheer Gregory up, I'm gonna go back up and climb up and get ready to loose the sail as he had instructed me to.
Now it's your turn to make a check. So roll me athletics, actually athletics, and then acrobatics. Because not only are you pulling yourself up to the top of these sails, there's like a rudimentary rope ladder, so it's not the hardest. Okay, yeah, you're good.
Danny, are you wearing armor? Yes, you said.
Mhm.
So Mantuka would go towards you and, hey, Stan, I'd suggest taking off the armor. It really fucking sucks when you drown in armor.
You drown in armor.
Goldtooth's like, that's a good point, eh?
Normally you'd be right, but this is really light stuff.
Oh, the anti-sinking armor. I thought that was just a myth. Cool.
You pull a cord right here, and it becomes a flotation device.
I mean, you could roll an intelligence check for me if you want, Stanny, unless you truly believe in the armor and its
You have
lightness.
your
It's up to you.
inflatable armor.
Do you want to roll the dice, or do you want to roll the dice?
The first mate's wearing a half plate, isn't he?
You don't know what he's wearing.
No, I'm looking at his fucking chest.
He's wearing, like, coat. He's wearing pirate
Oh,
attire.
okay,
You don't see
never
his armor. He's
Um,
hidden that shit, baby.
I mean, yeah,
You
all
don't
right.
know his life.
Are we rolling the dice, or are we rolling the dice?
No. Well, I mean, it's gonna take me 5 minutes to take it off, anyways. Do I have 5 minutes to doff my armor?
Up to you. This is your show.
All right, Mantuka, can you help me take it off?
Fine.
Woo, Mardi
fun-
Gras!
Fun fact, it is
Right.
light, it is quiet, it does not impose disadvantage on stealth checks. It is still metal, and will still make
Ah.
swimming harder. So you just at disadvantage checks when you're swimming in armor. That's all.
Fair.
So you get your
Never
armor
mind
all
then.
off and you start climbing. With the 23 and the 3 added to it is a total of 26. So like without struggle, like there's a very rudimentary ladder that kind of goes up the two masts. The first of which seems to, like, the larger of the two seems to be handled by the guy in the crow's nest who's already standing on the cross. I can't remember what the fucking name is off the top of my head. Either way,
The crow's
thing that
nest?
holds. No, like the actual thing that holds the sail. Cross mast. I want to call it. There's a fucking word
cross?
for it.
Isn't it a cross beam or something like that?
Whatever. The beam of
Anyways.
the mast. Was a weather check. Nice. Roll a D100, JTB. He's kind of got it covered. He looks down at you.
Ooh.
You gonna help? And before he even finishes, you gonna help. You're like scaling your way up the other
Oh.
mast without even using the ladder. You just like wrap your arms around it and begin pulling yourself up. And you get, now I need you to roll me an acrobatics check as you kind of come up to the top and you are actively walking a tightrope now. Like you are trying to travel out to the ends of this. Ooh.
Oh, Stan, I guess you're not
Okay,
gonna say, thanks. All right. Fuck you.
Okay. As you kind of get to the top and start like you're a little hesitant to stand, you think you got it, and then you kind of like as you're taking a step out, JTB rolls his weather check, and while it is not a heavy breeze, a light breeze begins to kick up off the ocean, kind of causing the ship to tilt, and you almost lose your grip for a second. With a 15, you just succeed, but you do stay on. And you manage to go over, and it's a simple matter of like you're just standing there with the ropes ready. You just pull the knot out and you're good to go. You're just waiting on the word from the captain. You kind of look down, watching everyone scramble about below. Mantuka, you're kind of left to your own devices at this point. At a certain point, Goldtooth's just like, just make yourself useful, mate. You'll figure it out. And then he goes and stands behind the captain, who's at the wheel. There is no helmsman on this ship, as far as you can see. It is just the captain who handles the steering. This is his ship. It's going to be him who steers it most of the time. Though you gather Goldtooth is capable enough as it is. He looks over. Are we ready to set sail? And Goldtooth's like, I think we're ready, mate. Okay. All right. All hands on deck. Set sail. And the anchor, which has already been raised at this point, just comes out of the water as they've finished raising it, and everyone pulls the sails, and they just canopy down, kind of loosely flopping in the wind. And then Mantuka, you see someone start pulling on some of the ropes to turn the sail and everything. He's like, "You wanna give me a hand with this, please?" He starts.
I'm in there.
And
Smelly's in there too.
roll me an athletics.
Daddy.
I almost said roll me an
Daddy.
I almost said roll me an athletics check because you said smelly as I was saying athletics, and it really fucked me up.
Yeah.
So roll me an athletics checks for you and Mr.
Oh,
Smelly.
these are real bad. Hold on.
Athletically.
I got a
Athletically.
D6
You do have a
from
D6.
before.
You do have a
I'm gonna
D6.
use that.
Okay.
What do you want me?
okay.
I'm just gonna roll manually if you
I
don't mind.
trust. Yeah, no, you got trust.
It's
system.
actually a 6 if you
Yeah.
trust me. Yeah.
No, you have no reason to lie to me.
Fair enough. I'm pretty cool.
We have fun when we fail in this stream, so I trust.
Oh,
you to
yeah.
always be honest.
We
with
do.
Failure is learning, and learning is power.
Thrive in the
Did you-
chaos.
Did you want a check from Smelly too? Do
Yes,
you want him
please.
getting in there?
Absolutely, give me a check
Well,
for
that's why
Smelly.
Lex isn't in his jam, but let's see.
I'm curious. I just want to see.
Power
Why
is
this-
money. Money is women.
It's not
Women is the future.
My D&D Beyond is having a small seizure.
That is okay. You can roll a d20 and roll. Roll. 20.
Okay, yeah, good call.
8B seizure.
18 and no modifier, so flat 18. Way to
Oh,
go, Smelly.
Damn, dude. Your camera froze. Interesting. So together, like, you grab the rope with this guy, and they start pulling it and begin like just yanking on it. Smelly comes up behind you and just starts pulling and putting more effort into it than you are. And eventually, you guys see that like Smelly is just handling it. Like he's taken the bulk of the effort at this point. He's like, "I got this, boss. You can. I got this covered." And he starts like hand over hand pulling these ropes. Did we lose Peter?
This is the peak of Smelly's life.
I think
We
we
may
lost.
have lost
I think
Peter.
we may have lost the Peter.
Today's the day of technical issues.
There was a lot of tech issues.
Oh,
on
now
this
he's
one.
back.
Oh,
There we go.
Hello?
Hello.
There we
Yeah,
go.
what's up? I have no idea what happened.
Smelly did
Did
better
it-
than you. Oh, wait, no, he rolled a 12, not a 19. Where did the 19 come from?
Well, I originally rolled
Oh.
one flat here because that wasn't working,
Okay.
and now all that shit's coming through delayed.
Okay, so I'm just going to take the 19 because that cinematically looked way cooler. So as you're pulling, it gets to the point where you feel someone behind you pulling faster than you are, and like the rope is just slipping through your fingers. You're having trouble keeping up, and you see Smelly behind you just going hand over hand over hand and just doing the fucking work. And in a matter of minutes, the sails turn. Already the ship has begun to move, but as the sails finally turn and catch the wind, you feel the ship lurch and kind of catch as it does this big turn, coming about from Nisal and making its way northward along the coast of the Magus Imperium. You guys sail for some time on the road or on the seas, making your way, kind of following the land, but far enough out that you're not like getting too close to any defenses or big cities or anything. It does not take very long for you guys as you're kind of making your way along that ocean to see Pillarstone show up on the horizon. It is impossible to miss, and this is the closest most of you have ever been to it. As you're sailing around the bay, you see an entire fleet of Imperium vessels filling the bay. So like everywhere from Pillarstone here to over here is just different ships in the fleet, ranging from tri-masted, like galleon-sized stuff, to the very small kind of single sail, more utility style ships like doing repairs and everything. But you see a veritable army. But what really stands out to you is Pillarstone itself, built on a rocky point surrounded by cliffs that overlook the Bay of Sorrows, or Sorrow Bay, I guess we called it. It is built in the shape of just like a massive circle that kind of wraps around this central area, and now you see in the middle of town this massive tower towering above the entire city, hundreds of feet in the sky, with bits of rotating kind of parts of tower just rotating around it, but not connected to it in any way, seemingly held up by some kind of magic. You, even from here, can hear the sounds of the city from where you are echoing across the ocean towards you. It is a absolute metropolis. It's probably the largest population in the Imperium, if not the entire continent, and the racket is like unmistakable. You hear the sound of blacksmiths working. You hear the people hammering and working on ships as you pass, and you're just struck by the magnitude of this city. This is bigger than anything you've ever seen. And you continue sailing, making your way. At this point, you can also see the coast. You see, in stark contrast to the city of Pillarstone, the small garrison town of Redwatch, one of the eastern townships in the Kingdom of Eldris, meant to guard the eastern border against incursion from any neighbors in that direction. It's made from very brightly colored orange red stone. The keep itself is noticeable. It almost looks like sandstone, but brighter. Even as you look, the beach itself and this kind of tidal wetland that spreads out to the ocean at low tide is a sand of just a deep orange. Beautiful. You gather that is where the city got its name. And as you're watching, you notice something else on the horizon, beginning to pick up. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, everybody. I'm going to roll one for our guy in the watchtower who has advantage because he has 18 net 1. So, you're lucky in that this is not necessarily a surprise to you. So, as you're watching Red Rock approaching, you're kind of like just south of the O in Sorrow Bay at this point. You notice a thick fog seemingly begin to come out of nowhere and just roll across the ocean towards you. At this point, you're a good distance away from any Imperium ships. The defenses of the city are far too far to help protect you at this point. You're several kilometers out at sea. You see this fog just creeping across the waves towards your ship. And since everyone rolled pretty damn good, it's not the fog that strikes you as surprising. But as you look down into the water, it is what is leading the fog that strikes you. You see several figures just weaving through the waves under the sea, making their way towards your boat. Humanoid in size, but strangely shaped, weirdly fish-like individuals. And then you see floating just at the head of the fog now, what appears to be a very aquatic-looking type person, very almost reptilian-like features, very fish-like features, I guess would be more accurate, not reptilian. And you just see him holding his hands together and just focusing as the wave of fog just creeps past him and completely blocking him from your sight and begins to engulf the ship. And that is where we will end things for tonight. Because we're 2.5 hours in. This is going to be a bigger fight. I don't want to have to rush it. So I feel like this is a good place to end as you see this entire swarm of marrow just making their way through the waves towards your ship with some kind of caster leading the charge. That will be it this week. We'll be back. If I'm going to do it, I'd like to do the big fight, but it would take quite a while. I don't really want to run the stream for that. Ridiculously long. What's up?
Would the fog sort of, as it comes in, would I see the fog encompass Pillarstone first?
No, it's coming from the north.
Okay.
Good. Like you guys are down here. It is coming kind of from the coast over here. Or not quite the coast, but as your ship is just covered, like even seeing in front of you at this point is damn near impossible. And you hear the sounds of things just climbing out of the water. You don't see anything yet, but we'll pick up there next week and return to a little action this time around. I want to thank everyone coming to hang out. It's been a lot of roleplay sessions lately, and I thank everyone for coming and hanging out and watching those. We know combat's really exciting, but I've really been loving all this story shit we've been doing. So
it's fun.
Next week, we're going to get into this kind of heavy combat and see what I can do. I'm going to throw some shit at you guys. I hope you're ready. Be prepared. Start thinking now about how you're going to handle this situation.
Prepared.
Absolutely. So, let's find someone we can raid out on now. That's probably be my thing, but I didn't because I suck.
Dishonor upon you. Dishonor upon your cow.
Wow. Leave my cow out of this, sure. Okay?
The dragon in Mulan, voiced by Will Smith.
Oh, that's it, right? Yeah, I was like, I know that line. What's that from?
Okay, so you know what?
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
We're gonna go raid Stormy. Stormy was nice enough to come in and sub. He's playing some Darkest Dungeon. I fucking love Darkest Dungeon. I'm about that life. Ooh. Not that I've ever managed to beat it. There we go. There he is. Okay, so combat is fun. Stories. I'm having so much fun with this story. We will be back next week, continuing this. Thank you, everyone, for coming to hang out. Guys, if you have anything you want to say to the people, now is your chance. I know none of you stream, but if you got anything cool you want to talk about, any charity events, anything going on in your lives you want to promote, feel free to ever do it on stream. But if there's nothing...
I'm moving.
That's fucking exciting.
To us, he's coming home.
One day.
There will be another new background.
We're kidnapping him one day. It's going to be great. So... I will be back tomorrow playing some Skyrim. I am absolutely loving my orc run. We're having the time of our lives smashing things with a big hammer. It's just the way I should have done it to begin with. We're going to go ahead and shoot on over to Stormy. Y'all know the drill. I've been Rusty. These are my friends. And y'all have been awesome. So I will catch you next time. And I'll see you tomorrow morning for some Skyrim. Bye!